what's up, friend? Thank you so much for joining me for this 12-minute lower body Pilates workout. We'll begin by taking a seated position and gently lying down on our back, bringing our knees to chest, arms come inside the legs, hands wrap around the outside of the feet as we settle into this happy baby pose, stretching out the hips and priming our bodies for the workout ahead. You can take some large inhales through the nose, exhales out the mouth as you sway from side to side and settle in this happy baby pose. Focus on your breath as you clear your mind and allow your hips to settle into this position with every exhale. Beautiful job releasing those hands from the feet as we set up for our next exercise, which is a single leg stretch, making sure you have enough space on your mat to lie vertically. Extending through the left leg, we'll bend the right knee, interlace our fingers behind it as we inhale to bend and exhale to extend the leg. Warming up the hamstrings, the posterior chain, making sure everything is ready to go for the workout ahead. And as you work on bending and extending through this right leg, if you're not able to get a full extension, there's no worries. You can always go as far as you can. And if you are able to get a full extension, once the leg is completely straight, you can go ahead and start slowly bringing it back towards your torso for an even deeper stretch. There's a lot of ways to modify this movement. It doesn't need to be perfect. As long as you're getting a stretch in the back of the hamstring, that's all that matters. Let's go ahead and switch sides, interlacing those fingers behind the left knee as we inhale to bend and exhale to extend. And continuing this motion for a few more reps. Focus on your breathing. Take this time to clear your mind and really think about nothing. This is your time to create some space between you and the stressful world out there. This is your mat time. We're here for a few more. Beautiful job bringing that leg back into a bent position before releasing the hands from behind the knee as we set up for our next exercise in a side plank position with our elbows stacked under our shoulder and our legs are stacked on top of one another as well. My legs are in line with my torso on this one. And we'll begin by lifting the top leg away from the bottom leg parallel to the ground and then bringing the knee forward towards the chest, extending through the leg and then bringing it back in line with the torso and sending it up for a leg lift and lower and repeat. And you'll notice as I bring the knee towards my chest, I'm changing the flexion of my foot. And it's not until I get back in line with my torso that I switch it back into plantar flexion for that leg lift and lower portion. We've got a few more to go. Things are definitely heating up now. If you're feeling it in that glute and quad area, you're not alone. This is our last repetition on this side of the body. Finishing it out with a leg lift and lower, and then you can bend those knees, bring the torso up for a side stretch, before switching sides and setting up in the same manner on the other side. Again, we're keeping those legs stacked and in line with the torso. Elbow is stacked under the shoulder. As we pull the leg away, we'll bring the knee towards us, flex through the foot as we bring the leg back, making sure we're going into plantar flexion before we take it up for the leg lift and lower. There's a lot going on with the feet on this one, so do your best. If it's not perfect, it's completely fine. And as you come into that leg lift, you're pushing against the elbow there to keep that rib cage from sinking down. And we're heading into the last rep of this exercise as we bring the leg through the final lift and lower. We'll stack those legs, bend through the knees, and come into another side stretch before taking our places in a tabletop position for the next exercise. Wrists under shoulders, knees are under hips, and beginning with my right leg, I'll flex through the foot and press up and back, and then take my hip through this entire circular range of motion. Knee will come out and around, back to center, and you can rest the knee on the mat in between each rep, or you can keep it in a hovered position, whatever feels best for you. Taking that glute into maximal flexion as we press through the sky with our foot before taking our hip through that circular motion. Working on our last repetition here. Once we return to center, you can relax the foot, and we'll begin on the other side with our left leg, flexing through the foot, pressing up towards the sky, and then taking our knee out and around. Keeping our torso as still as possible as our leg goes through this circular motion. Coming into our last repetition for this side, nice and slow. Once you come back to center, you can come off of your wrists for a moment, give them a little shake, a little extra time off the mat before we head back in for our next exercise. Planting those hands back in a tabletop position, extending through the right leg. We're taking this leg through a few rainbow shapes as we bring it over, corner to corner. I need to scoot up just a tad. I'm running into my plant. Perfect job. Lifting through the glutes and the hamstrings as we take this leg through those rainbow shapes, keeping the torso nice and still, making sure we're breathing. Wonderful job. A few more. On this last leg rainbow, I want you to lift the leg up towards the sky and begin a few pulses. Really working that muscle group before switching sides. Beautiful job. Extending through the left leg. You can begin those leg rainbow shapes. And as always, these rainbow shapes can be as large or as small as you'd like to make them. Just do what you're able to do. The most important thing is that we're moving through the glutes to lift and lower the leg. Glutes and hamstrings. The torso is still for the most part. and we're drawing all of our energy through that one limb that's moving. Not to mention the stabilizing leg is working pretty hard here as well. Up for our final lift and pulse. Fabulous job. Bring the knee back under the hips. We're taking a seated position before lowering ourselves down onto our backs for our final exercise. Once you're seated with feet flat, gently lower yourself down onto the mat and walk your heels back towards your hips with arms at your sides. We're heading into a glute bridge position followed by a few glute pulses. On your next exhale, tilting the pelvis and sending your spine up off of the mat, squeezing through those glutes. We're going to drop the glutes down and extend, flexing and extending through the hip. I'm also not lowering my glutes all the way down to the mat. I'm within about a half an inch above the mat as I drop and lift. Driving through the quads, driving through the heels. We're here for a few more. We want to get a real good burn from this last exercise. Challenge ourselves a bit. You are crushing this exercise. Hang in there. We have a few left. One final dip and lift. Hold this extension and slowly lower yourself back down to the ground. Bring those knees up to your chest, arms inside your legs, hands outside the feet. We're headed into Happy Baby for a nice cool down stretch and some breath work to lower our heart rate, swaying from side to side and allowing those muscles to relax. I am so proud of you for the work that you put in on the mat today as we release our hands from our feet, giving ourselves a little hug before rocking to a seated position. And I want to thank you again so much for being here with me. I really enjoy these Pilates workouts that we do together, and I cannot wait for the next one. Thank you again so much. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.